The Harry Potter series has too many themes to count, like loyalty, good versus evil, death, courage, and so on. But the biggest theme by far is love. It's undoubtedly at the center of J.K. Rowling's writing, and something that she kept in mind throughout all 7 books. This ongoing theme drives the characters to do what they do. In the series, love is more than just a sentiment. It has literal magical properties and turns out to be the most powerful magic there is. In this video, I'm going to break down the books and explain why love is such an important theme in the series. Dumbledore once told Harry about a room in the Department of Mysteries, a top secret part of the Ministry of Magic that is kept locked at all times. He said it contained a force that is at once more powerful and more terrible than death, than human intelligence, than the forces of nature. It is also perhaps the most mysterious of many subjects for study in the magical world. He of course was talking about love. In the series, love touches Harry at a very young age, and not just the sentiment, but the literal magic that is love. Harry's life changed forever when Voldemort came to kill his 1-year-old self after hearing a prophecy that said that Harry was his greatest threat. Voldemort first murdered James, Harry's father. When he got to Harry's bedroom, he found Lily, Harry's mother, protecting her son. When Voldemort ordered her to step aside, she refused. Voldemort had had enough. He raised his wand and hit her with a killing curse. Voldemort, however, had not taken into account the fact that Lily had sacrificed herself for her only son. This triggered the most powerful magic in the world, love. This made the spell rebound and hit Voldemort, making him vanish. Had he not taken precautions to stay alive forever, the power of love would have killed him. Not only did Lily's sacrifice save Harry and kill Voldemort that night, but it gave Harry protection for years to come. Now, wherever Lily's blood was, Harry was safe. This is the reason Dumbledore took Harry to the Dursleys, Lily's sister's house. Dumbledore knew that Harry would be mistreated and unloved in the sentimental form, but while he was there, love was always with him, always protecting him. As long as he called the Dursleys' house his home, Lily's sacrifice lived on in her sister, protecting Harry. Every one of the 7 books has the theme of love pop up in some shape or form. In the first book, Lily's sacrifice pops up again. Here, Harry faces Quirrell, who has Voldemort on the back of his head. Because Voldemort is part of Quirrell, when Harry touches him, it physically pains him. The protection senses Voldemort and ensures that Harry cannot be hurt by him. If Quirrell even touches him, he gets burned. What is this magic? Lily's love protection not only saved Harry, but the Philosopher's Stone as well, the thing that Harry was trying to protect. In the second book, the relationship between Harry and Dumbledore is expanded on, a relationship that has a great deal of love, as they have a father and son dynamic. Later on, they would tell each other that they did love one another. Those that we love never truly leave us, Harry. There are things that death cannot touch, paint and memory and love. Harry replied to this saying, "I loved you too, Dumbledore." In the second book, Harry was in the Chamber of Secrets facing Voldemort and a basilisk. Harry states to Voldemort his loyalty to Dumbledore, and this loyalty is rewarded. Fawkes, Dumbledore's phoenix, appears and blinds the basilisk. He also brought with him the Sorting Hat, which reveals to Harry the Sword of Gryffindor, which he uses to kill the beast. Here, Harry learns that love comes with reward. In the third book, Harry struggles to make a Patronus Charm, the only thing that can protect him from the creatures called Dementors. He's unable to do it until the love for his parents gives him the power to do so.
I was thinking of him. And Mum. Seeing their faces. They were talking to me. Just talking. That's the memory I chose.
And on top of that, his Patronus takes the form of a stag, the thing that James, his father, could transform into when he was alive. His love for his parents gives him power that he never knew he possessed.
Patronum!
In the fourth book, love is brought up when Voldemort tries to get rid of the protection that Lily gave to Harry by putting Harry's blood, the blood that carries the protection, inside of himself. It works, and he can touch Harry again, but by doing so, he gave Harry even more protection than he had before, which will come up later. In the fifth book, Voldemort uses what he thinks to be Harry's greatest weakness to lure him into a trap. Voldemort shows Harry a fake memory of him torturing his godfather Sirius, knowing that his love for his godfather would lure him into the trap that ultimately kills Sirius. Love once again saves Harry, however, when Voldemort attempts to possess him. Dumbledore had told Harry that grief was an expression of love, and this was proven to Harry here. He felt so much grief, or as Dumbledore said, love, for his godfather's death, which physically hurt Voldemort when he tried to possess Harry.
You're the weak one, and you'll never know love or friendship.
Voldemort immediately leaves Harry's body because the love that Harry feels puts Voldemort in too much pain to bear. In the 6th book, Dumbledore trains Harry to fight Voldemort, and during his training, Dumbledore tells Harry that his most powerful weapon is love, the one thing that Voldemort can't bear and can't understand. We also learn of Voldemort's past, and it becomes clear that he was conceived under a love potion that his mother used on his father. This love potion made it so that when he was born, he was unable to comprehend love. This is the reason why love is Harry's greatest power, because Voldemort will never understand it. We also see a flashback of Voldemort telling Dumbledore that nothing he had seen while traveling the world supported his famous pronouncements that love is more powerful than any kind of dark magic. It's this arrogance to love that led Voldemort to unwittingly provide Harry with tools to defeat him, the opportunity to read his mind after he put Harry's blood inside of him, and most of all, the lingering protection that Harry's mother gave to him. In the 7th and final book, during the final battle, Harry sacrificed himself. By doing this, he gave all of his friends and family fighting by his side the same protection that his mother had given him through the power of love. His sacrifice made his allies untouchable until the end of the battle. He was also able to come back to life because Voldemort had put Harry's blood inside of him. In doing so, even though Harry no longer called the Dursleys' house his home, the protection that was supposed to go away lived on inside none other than Voldemort himself, allowing Harry to come back to life. Harry then used his greatest weapon, just as Dumbledore had trained him to do, and ultimately, love is what made Harry defeat Voldemort. There are many other themes of love that pop up through the series, most notably with the character Severus Snape. He was in love with Lily, Harry's mother. When he finished school, he became one of Voldemort's followers, and one day, he gave Voldemort information that ultimately led to Lily's death. He immediately betrayed Voldemort and went to Dumbledore for his help, but it was too late. When he discovered Lily's death, he was described as a man that looked like he had lived 100 years of misery. Snape spent the rest of his life protecting Harry, the love of his life's son, and being a double agent to bring Voldemort down. Voldemort was one of the most skilled wizards at occlumency, or mind reading, but he couldn't tell that Snape was lying to him. But what was the reason for this? It was plain and simple, because he couldn't comprehend Snape's reason for betraying him, his love for Lily. When he revealed this to Dumbledore, he cast a Patronus, which took the shape of a doe, the same Patronus as Lily's, an indication in the wizarding world that means you have an undying love for the person whose Patronus you share.
Lily, after all this time? Always.
There's also the example of Dumbledore and Grindelwald. As boys, the two became close, and Dumbledore fell in love with Grindelwald. This led him to abandon everything he believed in, a man who always did the right thing, the man that stuck up for Muggles and Muggle-borns. He went along with Grindelwald's ideas, taking over and ruling the Muggles. Love blinded him, and led him to do things that he didn't believe in. He later said to Harry, "Did I know in my heart of hearts what Gellert Grindelwald was? I think I did, but I closed my eyes." Ultimately, he came to his senses, but years later, when he looked in the mirror of Erised, the mirror that shows you your deepest and most desperate desire of your heart, he saw Grindelwald. Some other smaller examples of love include the story of the Peveril Brothers. Each brother had an object that together made up the Deathly Hallows. Cadmus Peveril had a stone called the Resurrection Stone. It had the capability of recalling loved ones from the dead. He used it to bring the girl he had once hoped to marry before her untimely death back to life. But soon she turned sad and cold. She didn't belong in the mortal world. Cadmus couldn't touch her. He couldn't hold her. Driven mad with hopeless longing, the love for her drove Cadmus to kill himself so that he could join her once again. Breaking this series down, it's clear that love is one of the most important parts of the story and drives the characters to do what they do. Love is at the heart of this magnificent series.
I felt it would be a betrayal of the character if I showed Harry doing anything other than living what all along he has discovered to be true, which is that love is the strongest power there is.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. You can follow me on social media. Links for that will be down below. If you like this video, make sure you press that subscribe button to help grow the channel. I want to give a huge shout out to all my patrons listed below. If you want to be listed on my next video, check out my Patreon. You'll be featured on the video and get a bunch of other rewards as well. Again, thank you so much for watching, and look out for more great videos on the way.